Well, this could be another momentous day for Fulham in our new European adventure. Okay, the level of opposition is beginning to ramp up as we go to Cyprus in the third qualifying round today. But on the positive front, we've got everyone back from the World Cup. We've got two quality new signings who'll make their debuts today, and a few others who'll be in the squad before long. Things are looking good at Fulham FC, but can we make the European run continue? Yes, hello and welcome along to part 18 of this FM09 Let's Retro save from Fulham FC. We are back today to face Omonoia in the third qualifying round for the Europa League. It's not a league we've got loaded, but they have got a real player up front of real quality. You can see there someone who could probably play in a championship rather than being the sort of level we're used to seeing from the Welsh Premier League recently. So I'd expect this to be a small step up, but still, of course, a very winnable game. We're going to show the first leg, and then if there's still plenty to play for, we'll obviously do the second two. But for now, if you're looking forward to this one and meeting a couple of very big new signings, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let's go and take a look at the transfer centre overall, because we've got some big decisions to make too. This page will give you an indicator of some of the people we've been looking at, some of the people we've been looking to sell and what might be happening. So there's a young star at Sunderland we've been trying to sign. We've looked at a couple of left backs, Kolarov and Martin Olsen. Looks like Martin Olsen is going to be the one to come in. Very good young player, but it hinges on Timothy Tuba accepting a deal away, which at the moment he's rejected two clubs already, Le Mans and Parma. So we need someone to take him. Otherwise, that's going to be impossible and we'll have to keep a Tuba. But for now, things are looking very good. We've still got Sergei Anasovic to come in next month. And our first team has just got considerably stronger because as well as those coming back from the World Cup, we've had some completed transfer news. Firstly, let's deal with a couple of the outs. Last episode, we finally got Andy Johnson off the book. Loads of youngsters have left since then. And we've also let Matthew Briggs go on loan after his performances in the first and second qualifying round. He's not good enough now and he's been overtaken by a number of the youngsters that have come through the recent youth intakes. And then the second one, very important wage-wise, is Eddie Johnson, who's off the books. 14 grand a week he was on. He has moved over to Mexico, a USA international, a good player, but for some reason just didn't work out for us. He wasn't good enough to get in our squad. We couldn't get the sale fee for him. So in the end, we took the hit and got him off the wages. The Cup played 2.3 million for him. So it's a bit of a loss, but what can I do? That happened before I was in charge. Let's have a look at the ins though, because you were with me last as we battered Newtown in the first leg of a very uncompetitive second qualifying round and also agreed a couple of signings with Andy Webster being a man we got confirmation for to join for 2.3 million quid and DeMarcus Beasley from Rangers on a free. Neither of those can yet be registered due to the restrictions in the squad and replacing players. However, we have managed to bring in three others since. One of them on a free is a sublime deal, a bit of a bonus. The other two address the weakest starting position. So let's start with Getafe's release clause for Nej Rosman, who to be fair, they still shouldn't be too unhappy about. They signed him for 170 grand last year. There's our scouting system not working worldwide. Look at this kid. 20 years of age, a right back who is already better than Frederick Storr, physically very good, good in the air at the back post, great in the tackle, determination and everything's there. He's just got so much potential and I really hope we can get him to his best because if we do, we have got a world-class right back on our hands. The coach reports suggest he's going to get a lot better and he's already slightly better than Frederick Storr. That is across the board for all of the coaches. So let's hope that that is the case and he'll become a superstar, including a European run this season that should help his development. Then we sign a player who is part of, I call it the trio. Basically, I had an FM save. I think FM11 would have been the year that Blackpool were in the Premier League. And I had three attacking midfielders who I just remember being absolutely sublime. It was on the left-hand side, Esteban Granero, who was always transfer listed for Real Madrid. In the middle, Paulo Henrique from Santos. And on the right, Giuliano, who this time we've got for 8 million quid from AZ Alkmaar. We basically had a straight choice between him and Feghouli. Feghouli slightly younger, slightly bigger potential. Giuliano, a natural right winger. And that's something that was important to me. He's gone for a few transfers already in this save, a lot of money, But 8 million quid, if he reaches his potential, could still be an absolute bargain. As well as being decent in the winger attributes, he also offers a lot more as a sort of creative spark. And where we've gone to a holding midfielder rather than a number 10, gives us another player who can cut in and almost be a playmaker option as well as a winger. And with a new right back who's better going forward, more physically adept to overlap, it should allow us a real opportunity to produce superstardom. I really like him. He's a class player. He can cover centre midfield as well, gives us versatility, gives us the lot. He's just great. So Giuliano is the next man in. And then the Brucey bonus, we said we needed a sixth centre midfielder, maybe so we could push Danny Murphy down the pecking order with a view to leaving this summer. Well, Adinho, available on a free. I've been looking at him for a long time. He joins from Sampdoria at 27 years of age. We obviously had him in our last Let's Retro save. I think he's the first crossover. Adinho was there as a centre-half at Luton Town towards the end of that save. But look at him here. The influence, the fitness, the quality, the versatility as a centre mid and a holding midfielder. He can also cover centre-half if we need it. He is top class. He's probably the best holding midfielder at the club. But if anything, he's going to sit behind Sissoko for now. But this is something I talked about a lot. If we're going to be playing Thursday, Sunday, we can't just have a great 11 and then backups. We need to have an 11 and then people who can come in that are almost, if not just as good. So now from last year, Frederick Storr, Leon Andreasen, Jermaine Pennant when he's back fit. Now the signings of Ignacevic, who's going to be coming in, the Marcus Beasley, Adinho. These are all officially backup players at the moment. And that gives us a squad that is top 7 quality rather than just a team that's top 7 quality and then a backup 11 that's sort of low Premier League / top championship level. There are going to be some problem with the homegrown rulings, which is why we're trying to get the likes of a Tuber off the books. There's a couple more we might need to move on as well. But I am really pleased with the work we're doing. And probably other than the switch of Olsen for a Tuber, I think we're almost done for the summer as well, which on the 22nd of July is a really good position to be in. Very quickly, before we get into the first leg of this qualifier, let me show you what happened in the second leg against Newtown. We were obviously 12-0 up on aggregate. It was over. I played all backup players. I made sure we didn't get injuries. So you can see from this team here, if I get it up for you, there were, Stimpson, Webster, Omazusi, Harrison, 4 youngsters all started. We brought on 2 more from the bench in Gregory and Nightingale. And then sort of fringe players, the likes of, Danny Murphy, Ali Al-Habsi, the backup goalkeeper, Billy Jones, who's going to be an emergency backup this year, Bobby Zamora, Clint Dempsey, they all featured as well. Dempsey, another one that might move on if Pennant's fit again soon. So a really pleasing result to get a 4-0 win there. Stimpson scored again. John Fleck got a hat-trick. He's improving, starting to become a superstar. Overall, we've just got a really good squad, and I'm so pleased with the position we're in. So with that in mind, let's go to Cyprus. In the first leg of this qualifier, you can see our start to the Premier League season is very mixed. United and Tottenham sandwiched by 2 very winnable games on paper. But now it's all time for Thursday night football. Omonoia against Fulham. Couple of weeks without football. It has been a little bit more reserved in terms of fitness. But with people coming back from the World Cup and the 2 new boys, Rosman and Giuliano, registered, we can put out our strongest 11, just perhaps not the strongest bench, which is why young Alex Harrison, the superstar 15 or 16-year-old now, has made it onto the bench once again. So our 11 for today, despite a few still being unhappy, is Johan Pella back for the first time in goal. Rosman makes his debut at right back with Enrique over on the left, Diakate and Hangeland the 2 in the middle. Sissoko into the holding role with Schneiderlin and Skelbred ahead of them. Schneiderlin is back fit after his injury in the first qualifying round. Giuliano makes his debut on the right of midfield with Juan Albin making his first appearance of the year on the left. And then Josie Altidore, after his brace in the last qualifier, is up front and raring to go for the start of a new season. So let's submit the team as we head over to Cyprus. We're going to go slightly more attacking again in this game. And hopefully with this 11 out, we can put the tie to bed in one night as well. Would be lovely to get some reserve and youth players in for the next game. Let's find out if we can. Well, into the game we go. 4-4-2 with the star striker up front for the Cypriots. But I'd say the rest of the team, looking at it, probably generally League 1 level with 1 or 2 standout players. So let's see how we get on in this one, as we're going to go more aggressive. And to tell the boys we expect them to win the match. We want to put pressure on them at this point. And then at fullback, we're going to let Rosman fly forward on his debut. He can make more forward runs. Jose Enrique can do the same. He can dribble as well because I think he's got the ability to do that. And then we're also in the centre of midfield going to allow Schneiderlin to make more forward runs and passes as well. Should set us up in pretty good stead this. We've got a very good looking team on paper. Now what can we do when it matters on a Thursday night? Because this is the first proper professional experienced European team we've faced. Let's not go down with a whimper now. An important game for us. Let's see if these boys can deliver. Well, here we go. 6 minutes on the clock and a free kick from the right to the back post by Albin. Skelbred loses out and it's away as far as Sissoko. Very narrow pitch here in Cyprus. Plenty of space on the sides as Enrique to the byline in towards Josie Altidore, who heads over the bar. Good start away. This isn't the sort of game where we're going to get another 12-0 or anything like that, but I would like to win on the road by a couple of goals, make it comfortable as Albin into the back post is tipped over the bar. It's about how early we can get the first, and we've got that dynamic duo at centre-half now. Hangeland back in and hopefully ready to score from some corners as it's into the front post. Skelbred loses out. It's away as far as Jose Enrique. Giuliano picks it up. Into Skelbred on the edge of the box. Wide to Jose Enrique again. Space down the line for Albin. Not sure if he was onside. Flag doesn't go up. It's another corner. 12 minutes in. Omonoia not having anything of the game. But we've got to get that first goal to open the waterfall. As Albin in. Hangeland's up. Just over the bar. We'll put that down to pre-season rust. But we need you to score them soon, Bread Up. We need 15 goals again, please. 15 minutes gone, 0-0. You've got to be fair, if we were going away to a League One team in the FA Cup, for example, you'd probably only expect a couple of goal wins. So it's not going to be a massive one. But we have started really well. It's just about that first goal. And it's just about settling people in because this whole right side of the team is new. Well, we've had 80% of the ball. We've not had that many open play chances yet, though. Giuliano has been released by the new right back and down to the byline he goes. Cuts inside. Has support, just holds on to it too long, but gets a second chance. Good cross in. Altidore hits the post. Ah, magic from the Brazilian. And almost from Josie. It feels like it's coming now, to be honest, as Enrique throws in. Altidore flicks on. Not close to goal. They've survived 25 minutes, the home side. But the commentary's right. We are piling on the pressure. We were a post width away from scoring there. Can we make it count before half time? Do not want to go in 0-0 really. As Hangeland gives it to Diakate. Wide to Rosman. Solid start from him so far. Into Morgan Schneiderlin. Support down the line, but it's back out to Rosman, who again has that licence to get forward. Gives it into Sissoko and now Breda Hangeland. Can we get it to the switch on the left? No, he goes short to Skelbred. Runs at the defence. It's brilliant football. Skelbred puts it over. A little bit greedy there from the Norwegian. And we've still got that nagging unhappiness with 2 or 3 of them. We're 10 to the break. It's been a good performance without really being at our fluent best as Albin tries to get on the end of a throw. Altidore does. He's not the best chance in the world though. And he recovers from his touch by winning the ball back. And now Albin can get down the left-hand side. We've not seen him really run at people yet. Cuts inside to Skelbred. Chance to shoot. There's the goal. It's been coming. Good ball from Albin. Skelbred puts it in. And that's why it's so important we try and keep these two boys because they have produced some magical moments between them. If we're going to go a long way in this competition, they're going to be absolutely central to it. Fulham lead before the break, deservedly so. Now, can we get a second and third to make this tie very comfortable? 5 minutes to half time. It's been a very solid first half performance. Well, only 1-0 on the break, but no threat on our goal. A really good performance overall. To be honest, I'm quite happy with this. So I'm going to tell the boys, do we encourage them? Do you know what? I'm going to say don't get complacent because I want them to try and keep their spirits up. I know Giuliano is looking a little bit deflated morale-wise, but that's just the debut nerves. As Sissoko gets it in the second minute of the second half to Altidore. Great defending, to be fair. It's away to halfway, but Breda Hangeland there. And the pressure's coming straight back down the other end. That's why we've been so good in this game. Pressing them high, winning it back. Forcing poor clearances as Albin. Enrique straight on the overlap, but Skelbred finds him. Good ball to Enrique. Altidore's in the middle. As is Schneiderlin. As is Giuliano. To the back post. There's Schneiderlin. And he manages to deflect it in. Think it might have gone down as an own goal. It has. But the second goal comes very early in the second half. And that's massive for this tie. Because they would have fancied their chances to stay in it. And maybe then had a go at getting a draw on the night late on. It's important, as we've said for the coefficient, that we win these matches as well as the whole tie overall. And Albin's corner towards Hangeland. 3-0. That's a big one. Oh, it's disallowed. He's given a foul. Schneiderlin's not happy about it. 3-0 and I think it's almost tie over. Altidore again having a tough game. He does start the season slowly, doesn't he? But 5 minutes gone in the second half. We've piled the pressure on further. And you can see that as they tie up, we might well take advantage. With Giuliano finding Sissoko. Skelbred in the middle of the park. Switches wide to Albin. It's just beyond him, but he keeps it in. Beats his man to the byline. Chance to cross. It's back towards Altidore. Good header. Forced a good save from the keeper there, did Josie. And it's now going to be Albin to put the corner in. Looking for two in the middle. We know who the targets are. Hangeland's there. Just beyond him. Giuliano will try and bring it down. Skelbred does. Looks for the shot. Probably should have played wide, but it reaches Enrique eventually. Plays it short to Albin, who takes on his man and beats him with ease. Albin to the byline. Brilliant football. Across to Altidore. Beats everyone. And Hangeland's able to get there. Then commits the foul. Still only 2-0. Deservedly we're ahead, but it really should be more. And that's the frustration. Can we get the third now with Enrique and Albin combining again? Enrique to the byline. Good cross in. Altidore's header just over. Do I bring the youngster or Zamora on? That's the question here. I feel like at 2-0 I need to be professional and bring on Bobby Zamora. He's going to replace Josie Altidore. Schneiderlin struggling a bit physically and he had been injured. So I'm going to replace him with, I think, Leon Andreasen. And we're going to put Sissoko into central midfield. Andreasen will then have less long shots, just half of the course with him. Then the other option really, Rosman struggling a bit physically. So I could bring Frederick Storr or Billy Jones on. And the other one, Sissoko maybe in midfield. I'm going to leave it 5 more minutes. I'd like to bring John Fleck on, but I don't really have the option to do that. And then if not, I think it'll be Rosman for Storr, just so we don't overwork the new boy. He's a really good youngster. We've got to keep him fit. With an hour gone, it's been a great performance. It's been so comfortable. And I still think it's tie over if we win 2-0 on the road, but really like a third goal here, just so it's wrapped up. Well, the changes have finally come. A first yellow card for the host as well. We've won the ball back in our own half, but now it's a chance for Omonoia to attack. And I'll be disappointed if we concede here, having had nothing on our goal all day. Here they are on the edge of the box though, and they've got a bit of time to work it. Porus is beaten to it. They'll get a second chance here as Skelbred closes down. Janu's got the chance to shoot. Thankfully, it's comfortably over the bar, but not the best defensively, that. And a couple of causes for concern. I think we are going to take the right back off in a minute. Let's just see out this highlight though. As on halfway, Breda Hangeland should get there first, and does. Find Giuliano on the right. Support from Bobby Zamora, who turns inside. Back to Skelbred unselfishly. He's got a chance from 30 yards. It's a great effort. And what a goal from Per Skelbred. 3-0. Should be tie over. And it's now going to be Frederick Storr on at right back. Let's go and enjoy the last 20. He's got his debut out the way, Rosman. That's a big moment for him. And with 20 to go, it is tie over. It's 3-0. It's a brilliant effort on the road. Now, can we get one more just to put some gloss on it? I know I'm getting greedy now. But then we can just make a couple of changes for the next leg. Again, rest the likes of Albin, bring in a John Fleck. Those sorts of things, they do become important if we can get the tie done and dusted. He's headed away for the home side. Diakate should get there. Loses the flick on, but Hangeland can clear. Bobby Zamora chases. Second ball will be won by Sissoko, I hope. No, it's not. Porus gets it wide. 3-1. It becomes a very different match as Constantinou puts it over the bar under enough pressure. Giving away a couple of sloppy chances in this second half. With 7 to go, 3-0 on the road. His job done when it comes to Europe. We're giving away a bit of possession now, but we're not going to worry about that. Fulham have done yet another professional job. 3-0 away in Cyprus, tie over, and some good signings as well. We couldn't have asked for much more than that, could we? Well done to the boys. Per Skelbred with a couple of big goals from midfield. Now let's get ahead to the second leg. We're going to rest a few here and see if we can complete the job in style. Well, as it happens, I don't think we're going to have time for the second leg, which doesn't really matter with the tie all but over. I have got to rotate the squad and manage some youth players now because I've made the stupid mistake of leaving the Motherwell friendly in, as well as the Wycombe one, which can't be cancelled, of course. So that's one game we didn't really need, but it means everyone will be up to speed for the new season. We can also play some of those players who might be away. And the reason, as the Storm smashes the window, we've got to discuss moves rather than the second leg, is because there have been quite a lot of offers going around. And this might change the way the rest of our season goes, because we talked about Timothy Atuba being a must, to leave the club if we want to bring in a new player in Martin Olsen. And there is an importance to this. It doesn't matter how much we get for Timothy Atuba, because while Lille have offered a contract for a loan deal for the year that's only 200 grand up front with a bit of a future fee, he's out of contract next year anyway, so I doubt we'll ever get it. But for a 28-year-old, what that means is that Timothy Atuba will be taking 25 grand a week off the wage bill, a bit like we discussed with Andy Johnson and the 40k there. It basically pays for 2 or 3 players' wages, and Timothy Atuba, going for 25 grand a week, has not only covered the new right-back's wages, but it would also cover Martin Olsen's wages, who we talked about before. Yes, it's a bigger transfer fee, but he only wanted about 7 or 8 grand a week because he's on a tiny contract at Blackburn. He's a player who's better than Atuba. He's arguably better than Enrique. He's incredibly well-rounded. He's developed massively, having played regular football in the Premier League with a 7 rating last season. I think he'll be a star for us. He's stuck behind Stephen Warnock there. He'll definitely get more games for us, whether it's in Europe or domestically. So he's possibly going out now, which would allow the Olsen deal to go through. And then the other one, as we've got to trim the squad in terms of homegrown players, is Clint Dempsey. Now, the choice was, did I let him or Pennant go? Pennant is homegrown in the nation, so Clint Dempsey is the one who has to go. And for a player who was out of contract last summer, who we were a month away from losing for nothing, we're about to get 3.5 million from one of 6 or 7 clubs. Now, Clint Dempsey has been okay for us, but he's never really stood out. He did produce moments last season, and he was good towards the running, but he's not as good as Giuliano now, who is our star signing in that position. Pennant is probably my first choice as a different option, as a backup. And while Clint Dempsey's a little more versatile, he goes on more weird and wonderful international breaks. Prior to that one, he'd got more injuries until Pennant picked up the big one in the first qualifier. And he's not as good a player. He's 27 years of age. So if we can get 3.5 million, half of the fee that we paid for Giuliano, the youngster, I think we have to take that. In addition, we've also got a potential loan out for young Frans Stimpson, who is at the point now where he needs to go and play football and score some goals, because while he will feature a couple more times for us in the next week in qualifying and in friendlies, he needs to play regularly this season, something I won't be able to offer him once Fleck is playing as the backup striker and Beasley is registered. There is also a potential deal for a squad player coming in Jonathan Spector. Again, homegrown in the nation, so one we could add in. He's a decent defender. He's nothing special. He'd be 5th or 6th choice, but a versatile player, can play anywhere in the back 4, can cover holding role. It seemed like as an emergency deal, that's one that we might be able to get done. Not to mention Ignacevic coming in next week as well. He's going to be a super signing. This Fulham squad, I don't know if you agree in the comments below. I'm really impressed with how much we've managed to improve it in 2 seasons. And I think if we can get those deals done, particularly Olsen, Ignacevic, I think we're then in a very good position for this season. Yes, we'll probably have to trim 1 or 2 more from the squad. Yes, some of the youngsters won't get as much football as they like, but I think overall, we're in a really good position. We saw 2 good debuts today. We're going to have a 4th qualifying round in the Europa League because, of course, we will get through in this tie out with the 3-0 away win. And then we're into the group stages. We'll have enough football to rotate to give everyone the game time they want, and we'll be able to develop some of these young stars too. Do you agree or disagree with my optimism for the season? Do you think we can still compete in the Premier League and in Europe with the squad that I've managed to put together? Or will we get a stinker in the next qualifying round and go out? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that below. If you enjoyed this one, a very comfortable win in Cyprus with some Skelbred magic just sprinkled on the top of it. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know your thoughts on our European run, on our Premier League season ahead. And do you think I need to replace anyone else in a transfer window? Or have I done enough to compete yet again? Give us your thoughts on that. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of the week and see if we complete the job in European qualifying, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We're live on Twitch tonight, so come and join us as we're watching Champions League qualifying and an all-Irish tie over there, whilst playing a bit of retro LMA Manager 03. And I'll see you again tomorrow as we do all of this again for the final time in European qualifying. We've got to get the job done and reach those elusive group stages. I'll see you there to find out if we can.